That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Hello guys, welcome to another YouTube video. This video is going to be on how to grow your glutes at home. What if you're at home? What if you want to train at home? What if you're somehow still in lockdown and you can't get to the gym? Here I am, guys, to help you, to educate you. So the minimum you could do, as always, is to like and subscribe to my channel so you never miss any informative videos. And you make me happy as well, because let's face it, it doesn't cost you anything, okay? So I don't know if you can notice something before we start, just very quickly, because I did something different to my hair. Let me just put them in front. Let me just get close. I went to the hairdresser yesterday and I told him I only wanted to cut the ends. So in terms of the length, it's still the same. This is still all my hair, no extensions, no nothing. But something is different. What is it? Can you tell? Like, let me know down in the comments if you can tell, because if you can, you really got a good eye and good attention to detail, because there isn't, I mean, it didn't really change much. It's really hard to spot. So we're going to be talking about how to train at home. So training at home is very different to training at the gym. The question that I get the most, let me just get to the middle because I feel like I was just shifted to the outside. The question that I get the most is, can you grow your glutes at home? Yes, you can. So if you're just there, just wondering, and you can't maybe get to the gym for obvious reasons, and you're wondering, I will never be able to grow my glutes, you're wrong, because you can. If you want a personalized plan to you, that you know they will 100% work, including diet and workout and want to do, and literally you get to speak to me on a daily basis as well. Link in the description below for my online coaching personalized plans as well. So there are a few things that I want you to invest when it comes to home training. Just because, yes, you could do body weight exercises, however, they won't be as effective. A couple of things that I recommend. Things number one, bands. I literally was sitting on them. So we know that your muscles grow by 3 ways. Either with progressive overload, which is when you basically add weight. So normally this is done with weight. Or muscle damage, or by metabolic stress. And this is the principle that we're going to be applying when we train at home. Metabolic stress happens when you basically achieve that burning sensation. And although I don't want you to chase feelings, like I don't want you to chase soreness and burning sensations with all your workouts, this is an indication that your blood is getting pumped to that muscle. There is actually some scientific evidence that shows that training to the burning feeling also leads to growth. So how can we achieve this at home? The best way to get that pumping feeling or the burning sensation that you feel in your glutes is by adding more reps and more sets, increasing your volume massively. So first thing I want you to do, by increasing your volume, the easiest way to do this is by training your glutes more often. So if you're at the gym and you're used to training, for example, your glutes twice, at home, I want you to train them at least 3 to 4 times, okay? So I want you to increase the frequency on how often you train your glutes, okay? It is really important you do that. That is obviously in proportion to the reps and the sets that you perform throughout the week. That is all called volume, okay? So if you're used to the gym doing 3 sets of exercises, when you're training at home, I want you to do 4, 5 sets, more sets in general. Okay, so I moved all the sofa to one side because my flat is literally tiny. It's like a little box. A tiny little box, so I have to move the furniture around so that I can put a mat and train. I was saying that things like supersets can really help you. So a great superset that I love to do, and I used to do as well when I used to train at home during lockdown, is a combination of an isolation exercise and a compound exercise as well. So you guys know that I love fire hydrants, right? I think you already know this already. So I would perform these great external rotation exercise. I would also place a weight on my knee as always, just because these weights are not really that heavy. So this is the way to make my workout more intense. So when you're training at home, you basically need to get as creative as possible in terms of how you can increase the intensity of your workout. Basically, that's what it is. So I would do a superset of 20 reps each leg. So we're doing 20 each leg because remember, you want to keep the volume high. So it's really important that you train and that you do more reps. I'll probably do 4 sets of 20 each leg. And I know that it sounds like a lot, but this is what I want you to be doing when you're training at home, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 20 of these. You would do these in each leg. And also, straight away, superset. So as soon as you finish, I don't want you to rest. Straight away into your deadlifts. And straight away into your deadlifts, okay? So 20 as well, okay? Okay, so 4 sets. Another great thing that I want you to do when you're training at home is to incorporate things like isometric training. Isometric training involves isometric poses. Isometric poses are things like holding at the bottom and squeezing the muscle when it lengthens and when it stretches. So I'll give you an example. Stand up with me and let's try it together. So let's just perform a quick squat together. Okay, during the movement, this movement, I want you to feel your glutes, okay? I want you to focus. The only reason why I'm doing this with you is because I want you to understand this, okay? When is it that during this movement, you feel your glutes stretching and lengthening? Is it at the bottom or at the top? Again, I feel like Dora the Explorer. I'm gonna have to rename my channel as Dora the Explorer. It is obviously at the bottom. My glutes, I feel my glutes are stretching down. While when I'm coming back and when you come back, they shorten, they shrink, okay? So it's like your glutes and your muscle fibers, they basically stretch and then they go back down. I want you to add this isometric pause when your muscle stretches. So that will be at the bottom of a squat, for example, right? So bottom of a squat, here, when I reach the stretching point, I hold there, pause, and squeeze. So you know when people tell you to squeeze the top, never do that, it's wrong. Squeeze that at the bottom instead. So squeeze as hard as you can there. You'll create the most tension ever. For 3 to 5 seconds, this is what is called isometric training. And this kind of training might seem silly, but when you incorporate it to your normal set, it kills you. So don't judge a book by its cover. If you do even like, I don't know, 12 of these with 3 to 5 seconds pause at the top, darling, 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 you really feel these. Another thing is doing one of those pyramid sets that I used to do while I was doing my live workouts. You must have, if you've done my live workouts, they're still on my YouTube channel, by the way. If you want to give it a go, feel free to go and have a look because those workouts were crazy, okay? Really good. These are things like, I like to call them the pyramid sets, the pyramid sets. So I'll just give you an example on what I mean in terms of these things. Let's say I'm going to give you this example with a glute bridge, but you can apply the same principle to squats, to hip thrusts, anything pretty much, okay? So let me just give you an example, very quick, where you can perform with me as well, step by step if you want, if it makes it easier. I'm going to do this without holding the weight just because it's easier for me to talk to you through it and move my hands because I'm Italian, guys, you know that. But you can do this holding any weight at all, which will make it even harder. Okay, so What you want to do, I want you to perform 10 sets. And I know that it sounds a lot, not 10 reps, we're talking about sets here, okay? 10 sets of 10. Let me just tell you let me just show you, because it's easier for me to show you, otherwise it'll confuse you. So for this, it's really important that you keep your resistance band just above your knees, as always. Again, feel free to use a weight because it will make it so much harder. And I want you to perform 10 glute bridges, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Once you get to 10, I want you to perform 10 abductions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No rest. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 8 abduction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 now. And you do this until you get to 0, basically. So what you're doing here, you're basically performing 10 sets with no rest in between. And it's already hurting me until 7. Imagine until 0. So that is like a descending pyramid that you're doing. It's a giant set. And it is a killer. I'm going to warn you there. If you're a beginner, maybe you don't want to be trying this, because I will say that this is more for advanced people. But if you're more advanced, or if you feel like you want to give it a try, feel free to give it a go. You could do that with hip thrust as well. Really good with hip thrust. Also with squats as well. So you could do, for example, you could hold the weight like a goblet squat, do 10 squats, and then when you get to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and do 9, and then until you get to 1 as well. Another great type of exercises that you can include to your home training is mainly unilateral exercises. Why unilateral? Unilateral exercises are meant to be harder, okay? Because you're trying to basically hold your whole body weight with one limb. So including things like unilateral exercises would really be beneficial to you. So what are unilateral exercises? My favorite, so are things like single leg deadlifts, single leg hip thrusts, single leg glute bridges. What am I saying? So single leg glute bridge, for example, something like this. Okay, you'll feel harder than bilateral with both feet. Okay, so I want you to try now with me. Try and perform 10 reps of these first. Okay, and then try and do leg by leg instead. It'll feel so much harder to balance your weight as well. So always keep your hands on the floor as well for more stability. But my favorites, you guys, you know what it is, what exercise are my favorite that are single legged and are unilateral. Obviously, split squats. Guys, split squats are the best exercise, and not only they're a killer and I hate them to death, but I also have a sort of like love and hate relationships with them. Just because they're so terrible, so mean, they proper like destroy you. But at the same time, they are really good. They work very well, especially when you're training at home, okay? I feel like they're one of the most complex exercises that requires both stability, strength, it's a proper compound movement that I would highly suggest to anyone that is training at home, okay? So I would like to show you a variation that I do. 6-pack, water, bottles that I'm using. So that's what I mean when I want you to get creative at home. Just because we don't obviously have the same equipment, we don't have access to the same equipment. If you were to buy something at home, I would really recommend getting a stepper. I will put it here so that you know what it is, just because it's better and and it'll be easier to use at home. But if you haven't got it, what I used to use when I was training at home during lockdown was either this or a suitcase. You know, like a hand luggage that you just use when you travel, literally. Why that? So you have the option to use something like this or the suitcase, or you can use the sofa or the chair. Can you tell me what the main difference is, apart from the objects, obviously? What is the first difference that you can notice? If I'm using a chair, the main difference, apart from being different objects, is the height, okay? And although that might sound silly to you, it might actually make such a difference. So I want you to actually just do this at home, okay? Just experiment with this, okay? I want you to actually notice the difference yourself. I want you to grab the chair or the sofa, obviously where you think you were gonna do your split squats or where you normally would do them. And I would actually recommend a suitcase because that's just a little bit better. Probably if it's harder as well, so that you don't sink in, or if you break it. But the main concept is I want you to use anything that is lower. And the first thing that you'll notice, at least for me, because remember, everyone has got different genetics at the end. So that's why it's important that you understand what it works well for you. So some people might actually prefer doing it on a higher elevation, but again, try both and see what works for you. So foot on that, squeaky. I would hold the weights, dumbbell, descend down, ignore the massive noise that they're making, but okay, really nice and simple. Probably I would use the usual hand luggage that I used to use when I was training, because it's a bit better than the 6 water pack, to be fair. And obviously, guys, the main thing, the key thing that you need to take into account, what is it? Your diet, okay? A lot of people think that all they need to do to grow the glutes is training. No. If you're not, I say this all the time, I say this to my clients, I say it to everyone, the main thing is your nutrition. If you're not feeding your body right, you won't grow. Even if you have the best training, the hardest training plan in the world, if you're not feeding your body right, you will not grow, okay? So you need to make sure that your protein levels are high, okay? And not just randomly. You can go on MyFitnessPal, that is free, download it, insert your details based on you, and it will give you a number. Try to stick to those and your calories as well, okay? Another thing that I want you to consider, when you're training at the gym, if you're someone that has recently passed from training at the gym to transitioning into training at home, you need to consider that the calories that you'll burn will be significantly lower, okay? Training at home, although it helps you grow, you can grow, definitely grow at home, but you won't burn the same amount of calories that you burn from a gym session, okay? Unless, like, it just works this way, because when you're lifting heavier weights and heavy weight, your body will work harder and you will burn more calories, okay? So it's important that you that you understand this. At home, yes, you're doing more sets, giant sets, unilateral exercises. You'll still grow your glutes, but just in terms of calories expenditure, okay? At home, you will not tend, generally speaking, you will not tend to burn the same amount of calories, okay? So it's important you understand this. So in terms of eating, you need to adjust your eating, okay? So slightly decrease the calories, otherwise you'll start gaining more. If you eat the same calories that you used to eat when you're training at the gym, you start putting on more weight, okay? Another thing that I want you to consider, possibly consider, and that I used to personally use is creatine. I still take creatine, by the way, every single day. But creatine helps you, especially when you're training at home. Obviously, you can supplement it with normal protein to hit your protein targets. I use Blessed Protein as well. The link is in the description below, but you can also get creatine, which also link in the description below, same link where I get mine from. So now I'm just going to give you an example of a workout that I want you to do. And it's also an example from my plan. So you could start with 5 hydrants and a combination of those deadlifts. I don't know why I'm putting my leg like this. 4 sets, 20 reps each leg. Okay? Then I want you to, so no rest in between. Superset means no rest in between, remember that. Then I want you to perform some isometric squats. Okay, 12 reps. 3 sets of 12 reps. And at the bottom of each one, I want you to pause for 3 seconds, okay? Hold for 3 seconds, so count in your head, 1, 2, 3, okay? After that, I want you to do another superset. I want you to do split squats, 20 on each leg, repeated 4 times, again, okay? With a superset of a banded monster walk. What is a banded monster walk? Let me just show you. So you just grab your little, actually your thickest band, okay? The heaviest you got, the better, okay? I want you to invest in some good bands when you're training at home, okay? I want you to go from side to side, okay? Slightly lean forward, go from side to side, and I want you to perform 50 reps of these. You heard me, 50, yeah? 50 reps of these, okay? So with the superset, then I want you to do that giant set that I showed you before, but you could try either with your feet elevated or try the normal hip thrust, okay? So 10 sets, no rest in between, okay? You do that, and then I want you to just finish off with the last superset, single leg deadlift. So what is a single leg deadlift? Let me just show you very quickly. Just go all the way down and up. You will really feel each cheek squeezing, stretching, okay? Remember to follow the movement and you descend down with your eyes, nothing like this. The head needs to look down the whole time, okay? Perform this slowly. Again, I want you to do 15 and then supersetting, no rest in between, that means, with our lovely abductions. So you'll get the band again here, because you'll be sitting on a chair. And actually I find that when I do abductions, I can feel them more if I put the band below my knees instead of above. But again, you try both, okay? Because remember, everyone is different. So you need to experiment and see which one works best for you. Okay, nice and simple. You could do 30 straight after as a superset, and you do 4 sets of everything. And then tell me if after you complete this workout, if you're not dead. If you want more workouts like this as well, and a full program that includes workouts like this, again, link in the description below, bitches, for online coaching, okay? Let's get serious about this. So that is it really. I gave you a full workout to try at home. And by the way, I want you to try this and let me know, because you guys asked me in the comments that you wanted to see more home workouts, so I hope you found this useful, truly. If you've got any more content requests, again, feel free to let me know, because this is how I want to obviously make content that you guys find useful. As I said before, I'm here because I want to help you. So if you struggle with something, let me know and I'll do my best to provide the information based on the knowledge that I've got, okay? Anyway, familia, love you and leave you now. And take care of your amazing body and your amazing self. Lots of love. And feel free, please, to like and subscribe again. And I will see you very soon.